So before I was a researcher, I was a science teacher. Efren landed in my classroom having been opportunity transferred, an educational euphemism for expelled, from so many local middle schools that he'd actually gone through all of them twice. A quick wit that put a first-year teacher like me through my paces, he occasionally would take paper clips like this one, bend them, and launch them into my ceiling when I wasn't looking. So, he was somebody who, like millions of children in this country, come from a background of early adversity. Somebody who's had experienced this early in life and whose chances seemed all the worse for it. We know that adversity is something that affects cognitive outcomes like language, memory, and regulation. And one huge question is, well, how? But one problem in answering this question is that the term itself, adversity, lumps together a huge range of human experience. And so, taking a look at this paperclip that I've bent, if you look at it from just this side, you can't even really notice. It takes looking at it from different angles and perspectives to really be able to understand it and to have a shot at putting it back together. So, previous research in the area of adversity does things like compare high to low risk groups, does things like count the number of bad things that have happened to people. Our approach takes 160 teens, including many who have been part of the child welfare and juvenile justice systems. And we give them surveys to measure the timing and also degree of experiences that have happened to them, but looking at it from different angles and perspectives. And so one of these perspectives that I'm interested in is threat. Experiencing abuse is something that we think changes the way that the brain processes fear and stress. Another really interesting dimension is deprivation. This is something where kids who have experienced neglect, we think maybe leads to weakened connections in parts of the brain that support complex cognitive processes, like understanding analogies or reading. And so we can use brain imaging to test predictions grounded in neuroscience for how we think experience relates to the structure and connections in the brain. And so most people study the brain when people are playing games or solving different kinds of problems, but not me. I'm more interested in what's happening when people are actually doing nothing at all. So consider that this paperclip is technically right now at rest, but still the way that it's shaped tells us a ton about what it's for, namely holding paper. And so it turns out that the brain at rest is not just totally passive, it's really active. It's involved in maintaining your posture, your alertness, and your thoughts. And so on top of that, we also need to consider that it's really, really organized. It's something that actually is so organized that you can look at resting state brain scans and identify ADHD subtypes in children. So my work uses this method to study the underlying organization of the brain and relate this to experience in hopes of understanding vulnerability and opportunity for teens.